including 4 children, were injured after their neighbor opened fire into their home in
Hello, friends. I think this is working. I hope this is working. I know, I'm not Isabel. That should come as no shock to you. My name is Chrissy Clark, and I am the host of a show called Underreported Stories. It's available on Rumble, Apple, Spotify, and I'm a good friend of Isabel's. And so she's on her honeymoon. Yeah, so I'm going to be taking over for her, and I'm very excited to be I'm honestly honored to be able to take over for her and talk to you guys. So I have a couple of things on the agenda. Obviously, I kind of want to get to know you guys a little bit better, hear about you guys and who's in the audience and everything, just getting to know Isabel's audience a little bit better. And then with that being said, I also want to talk about the fallout from the debate. So if you're a political person, ooh, you're gonna love it today. I got some spicy thoughts. And I specifically want to talk about reading some left-wing news outlets and trying to understand how they're viewing all of this. So I'm super excited about all of that. With that being said, let me just say 2 things. First off, I got back from Israel literally like 24 hours ago. So I'm a little tired. I'm a little out of it, just as a heads up. But you're going to bear with me. I know you're going to bear with me, and we're going to have so much fun. But I'm just giving you a heads up that hopefully by the end of next week, I'll be more like myself than I am right now because I am a wee bit tired. With that being said, I'm still going to give this my all. And another thing I should give you as a preface is I don't usually stream. I'm not a stream girl, and I had it figured out for a hot second for my channel. But I used like a completely different software than Isabel uses. So if I'm really bad at this at first, like please still love me, okay? I'm trying. Um anyway, I'm looking at the comments already and I see a good friend Alex. He used to watch my streams. Now he's always been a fan of Isabel and he said the wedding really changed Isabel. No. No. It didn't. It's not Isabel. It's me. Anyway, speaking of Isabel's wedding though, she did give me permission to pull up a couple of pictures. So let me see if I can pull this up. Bear with me. Again, restream and just all of this is not my thing. So I believe if I go like this. Oh, yay. Okay, cool. So let's see if we try to like expand this. Can I zoom in? Like, I don't know how this works. Oh, I'm such a grandma with technology sometimes, but let's see if this works. Yeah, okay, so here's Isabella Brock. She sent me these pictures that we could, look at them. And she's so cute. Oh my freaking goodness. I just want to like give her a little hug. Next. Come on, guys. guys, she's so cute. I can't. I loved everything about their wedding. And also, Isabel and I were texting, and one of the funniest things is we just have these really weird, like, I don't know, like, we don't live near each other, but we'll have these really weird things that we both do at the same time. Not that my wedding dress looks the same, but we have very similar vibes. And then also, we had our bachelorette parties around the same time as well, and they were both camp themed, and we had almost matching outfits. It was kind of creepy. So it's so fun to be able to like watch people go through this and everything. Anyway, not that you guys want to see my calendar. Let me maximize my screen. Anyway, she is awesome, and she's doing awesome. She told me that she loves being a wife. This is everything she ever thought it would be and more. So we're so excited. She will be back, not at the end of this week, but the end of next week. So July 15th, which is just in time for the RNC to take place, which is going to be crazy. We're going to know who the VP nominee is. It's going to be awesome. And Isabel will be back for all of that. But until then, we get to hang out. So if you guys could put in the chat where you're from, what you guys like to talk about, etc. I have a good idea of what I want to talk about this week. But if you have any topics that you're like, ooh, I've been dying for a new perspective on this or that, toss it in the chat and I'll take it into consideration for next week. So yeah, anyway, I see people from all over the world. Wow, that's really, really crazy. But anyway, before we get into what I wanted to talk about today, I need to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Public Square. If y'all have not heard about Public Square, it is a hub of more than 100,000 businesses that are pro-faith, pro-family, and pro-freedom. If you want to support this show and Miss Isabel, be sure to head over to publicsquare.com. That is publicsquare.com to support small businesses and shop your values. Okay, let's get into the two things I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the fallout from the debate, and specifically, I want to read some left-wing news outlets. Triggering, I know, but we have to read them. And I want to react to all of this because I've got some thoughts, hence the title that is, Biden is red pilling the legacy media and Democrats in this moment. And I have some theories on how this is true. So with that being said, let me pull up. Oh, guys, me and technology are going to learn me and technology. Okay, let me pull up this Axios article. So as I'm pulling this up and trying to not act like an idiot, okay, here we go. Let's see if this makes it better. No, that does not make it better. Well, anyway, while we do this, and while I show you all of this, let me just preface this by saying my show that I run every day is called Underreported Stories. And if you just type in Underreported Stories into Google or you type in my name, it usually pops right up. But it's available on Rumble, Spotify, and Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And essentially what I do is I talk about stories that you wouldn't see in the news otherwise. So you wouldn't see them in Fox, MSNBC, or CNN. And if you did, you really wouldn't hear about it enough. It'd be glanced over in a single segment on one afternoon show on Fox. It just doesn't get the attention I believe it deserves. So that's kind of my whole MO. With that being said, I have to read the morning news every day in order to gauge where we are in all of this, right? Like I want to gauge what's going on and whether underreported stories are really underreported or not. And so this morning I was reading Axios, which I always do. And this is what, my regular morning meeting looked like. And this second section here really had me interested. And I was like, we just need to talk about this pretty much the whole time on this stream because it's fascinating. It is considered the 8 steps for Biden to survive becoming president or staying president. I find this to be wildly, wildly fascinating. So I'm just going to read through it and give you my thoughts as they come. And from there, we'll kind of talk about, again, my thesis on all of this, the replacement theories. I can't wait to hear from you guys about whether you think people are going to get replaced or whether Biden is going to get replaced. And then I want to talk in general about the media because we're going to read obviously from the media. So let's get into it. Okay. I'm seeing, and then by the way, I'm reading the comments. I hear you guys. I will be sending all my love to Isabel from you guys. She will definitely hear this and hopefully see it today as well. Okay. Let's start reading, shall we? Give me 1 second. All right. Good, hopefully. So this is based on, I'll just read it to you. It says Biden, or Actually, let's start with this. Okay. We're going to start with the question, a poll. Biden have mental and it should be worded better. Does Biden have mental and cognitive health, or does Biden have the cognitive and mental health to serve as president? Wow. Why don't they just write it the right way instead of making me try to struggle? This is posed very poorly, I think, but the idea that he does have the mental and cognitive health to serve, so he is fit to serve. Only 35 people believe, or 35% of people believe that, whereas 65% of people didn't. And that was before the debate, okay? After the debate, the numbers went obviously respectively down and up. Down and up and down and up. Yeah. So we're already seeing a massive dip. And then you have Axios, again, a very left-wing news site, coming on and saying this. Based on our weekend conversations with top officials and advisors, here's the Biden survival plan, apparently, allegedly, okay? Says, dismiss bedwetting. The official White House and campaign line is that this is much ado about nothing. That Biden works so hard it drains his young staff. I think Isabel does a really great job on the stream on not cursing, so I'm going to try really hard, but I'm going to call BS on this. And usually I would be just letting the curse words fly, but I'm trying. Isabel, if you're watching this, it's for you, babe, okay? Because this is not how my mouth usually works, but it's BS, okay? It's BS that Biden works so hard. He just makes his young staffers crash. If anything, think about being a caretaker. You know, when I'm around my grandpa, who's about the same age as Biden, I get kind of exhausted too. He's a lot of work, you know? He kind of like shuffles around similar to Biden. It's a lot of energy taking care of the guy and making sure that he's okay and blah, blah, blah. So I understand the idea that he drains his young staff with either his ineptitude or how much freaking work it takes to take care of an old man, right? So I don't believe that unless you kind of flip it on its head. The other thing it goes on to say, this attitude is driving elected officials and donors, basically any top Democrat, not on the Biden payroll, nuts. They feel it's delusional. Again, guys, this is Axios saying it, not me. Your girl is not saying this. I believe it. But I did not write this, okay? But I coulda. That's how crazy it is that Axios is saying it. It says, they feel it's delusional. Nonetheless, Biden allies are cranking out data and pushing out surrogates to insist he had one bad night, just one bad night, because of a scratchy voice and, oh, get this, over preparation. Right there. It says, over preparation. Oh, you were so overly prepared you forgot how to speak sentences? Is that how it works? And I think the attitude of donors right now that this is, like, as it says right here, delusional, I think it's spot on, right? You can try and spin it as this is not him wetting the bed. This is not Joe Biden having senior moments. He's actually just so smart, none of us can speak his language. It doesn't work because we can all see with our eyes what we can see. And B, it's actually quite antithetical to everything that Joe Biden has ever built his career on, right? He built his career essentially on being Scranton Joe. He's so lovable and relatable. He's just a relatable king, right? Even though he's never contributed anything to society except taking taxpayer money to be a politician his whole life, and potentially a very corrupt politician at that. And so I find it very funny that he's just so overprepared and so much better than all of us that, you know, he's not wetting the bed. What? What? I don't believe that for 1 second. Then let's get into the second point. It says, squeeze polls for juice. Biden allies are circulating polls and focus group results showing the debate did little to change the dynamics of the race. Again, I bring you to this fairly poorly worded graphic. Not true. It's not, guys, it's not true. Like, I know that we know, I know that you know, and you know that I know, right? We know that Biden has a problem with the truth. If you didn't know that Biden had trouble with the truth, if you are of the left, if you are an MSNBC, a CNN, you are a devoted leftist and you like Joe Biden, this comes as a shock to you, right? But there is no getting away from the truth, what you saw with your eyes, and the truth of these numbers. Numbers don't lie. That's why I got a degree in statistics, okay? And this Axios thing article goes on to say, Biden and his campaign acolytes are ignoring contrarian results like the poll out Sunday that shows a surge in voters who think Biden is not up for the job. If you're to believe the polls, voters thought Biden lost the debate and seemed too old, but there's little evidence they're moving fast to Trump. Both seem to be true. Oh, sorry, my dog's just getting up. Here's the thing about the analysis from Axios, that there's little evidence that Biden voters are moving over to Trump. That's entirely true. But that doesn't mean it's not benefiting Trump, right? Because just because people aren't voting for Biden doesn't mean they're voting for Trump. That just means they're not voting at all, right? If you can shrink the voter base, that's still a benefit for Trump. Most of the times it's a benefit for the Republican. I don't know why. I think it's because the Democrats have this insane turnout machine that's just truly love or hate the Democrats. It's unfreaking paralleled, right? And their turnout machine is so incredible that if you can shrink that turnout, you in turn help Republicans. And that has been historically correct. It's why this whole voter turnout or voter suppression, having IDs is voter suppression, all that nonsense, it's actually why it works quite well. It's actually a good talking point for them, because historically Republicans, or any sort of suppression of a vote, or any sort of Democrats not having the highest turnout, has been good for Republicans. So there's always a nugget of truth, to the lies I think that they're telling. But let's move on to the next topic. So this one says, warn of chaos. Biden allies are making plain in private conversations of the peril of an open convention and the risk of picking a Democrat even more unpopular than Biden, and that would be Vice President Kamala Harris. They know Biden just needs to make it to the Democrat convention in Chicago, which opens 8 weeks from today, and that unity is the only choice. So, essentially, the argument here is that there's so much chaos in changing up the nominee in the next 8 weeks. There's so much chaos in seeing how the voter base is going to react to someone like Kamala Harris. Like, I believe Gavin Newsom's name has been tossed out there. I believe Gretchen Whitmer's name, the governor of Michigan, she's been tossed out there. There's so much chaos in that. We don't want to risk that chaos. And so I find that very interesting. Not that I agree with the idea that it's so chaotic that you can't change the person. I have just been preaching for such a long time that over Biden's dead body is he gonna give up power, okay? Over his dead frickin' body. I really want to go into this because I find this topic to be honestly fascinating. And y'all feel free to chime in on who you think is going to replace Biden, if you think anyone's going to replace Biden. So here's my philosophy, okay? I don't think that this has ever been an actual honest conversation that anyone's going to have. There's no way he's getting swapped out, okay? I know it's a nice talking point. It's a convenient talking point. It's something fun to talk about. I do not think there's any chance, any way, anything, any chance that this is going to happen, okay? I, in 2019, graduated college, and I immediately got out onto the campaign trail and was tasked with learning about the candidates running for the nomination in 2020. And I read all of their super annoying biographies. I did so much research into who these people are. Let me tell you for a fact, over Joe Biden's dead body will he give up power. He has been known just to believe that the mainstream media is against him. He believes that he's this scrappy kind of special guy that needs to hold on to power once he get it. If this man had any interest in actually doing what was good for the country, he would have retired the first time he got caught for plagiarism, not 40 years later when he's dying, okay? I don't believe for 1 second he's going to give up power. He has it. We're not getting rid of him. It's too late. And I see somebody named Rob, hello, said, Biden is not getting replaced. It's too late. It's too complicated. He is here for the long haul. Yeah, y'all, that's the reality of all of this. He is here. He's here for the long haul. There's no getting rid of him. I think it's interesting. I think it's very fascinating to talk about it. What would happen if, Gretchen Whitmer got, or worse, Michelle Obama. We were talking about this. I was just in Israel talking to some very smart people on the trip that were telling me they really think Michelle Obama is going to come in. And I said, I'd be fascinated. I'd be interested. It would make me tune in a little more, but I just don't see it happening. But as always, let me know in the comments whether you disagree or agree. I'm interested to hear. All right, let's get back to reading about this crazy newsletter because it's 8 points and we're only on point 4. All right, this next one says limit dissent. Biden allies helped orchestrate the supportive tweets by former presidents Clinton and Obama. Those happened after furious backchannelings by allies. Truth is, this was the easy part. So, their goal or part of their strategy is to limit dissent, limit the pushback of what's going on in terms of pushback from elected leaders. And not only elected leaders, but kind of the media as well. And I just find it really funny that the first sentence of this, okay? Read it word for word. Biden allies helped orchestrate supportive tweets from Clinton and Obama. It didn't read Clinton and Obama already felt they needed to be supportive of Biden because they're lifelong Democrats and they want to support the presumptive Democratic nominee, if not pretty much what we know to be the Democratic nominee. That was not what was written there. It was Biden allies had to do back channeling to basically beg on their knees to get former presidents to tweet their support for Biden after one of the most abysmal failures of politics I think I've ever witnessed in my life. Okay? That to me says a lot, right? It says a lot that you have to do this intense workaround with my people are talking to your people in order to get a tweet from the former Democrats to support the current presumptive Democratic nominee. Speaks frickin' volumes. It does. It tells you everything you need to know. And part of me thinks that, yes, of course, the blame for having a doddering old fool in the spot, in the Democrat spot right now, that is on Joe Biden. It's on Joe Biden a little. It's on the rest of the Biden family, right? I see that. There's another part of me that thinks a lot of this is on not just the Democratic establishment, but Obama. Like, where was Obama to say, hey, buddy, you shouldn't do this? Where was Michelle Obama to talk to the family and say, hey, I love the Democratic Party and I really, really, really don't need to be the one that's running, but you need to you should have been a one-term president. There were conversations from the moment that Joe Biden got on that stage in 2020 that people were asking him, or 2021, I guess, because it was 2021 when he took office, when he got on to announce that he was going to be a one-term president. People were calling for that, like in the first 30 days of his administration. So I really think that the Obamas, that they're maybe even the Clintons, that people of the Democratic establishment should have been pushing for that a lot earlier than waiting for the last second. And again, leading to chaos. So that's my thoughts. Let's get to this next point, which really goes in tandem with it. It is keep elected leaders close. Okay, the White House knows Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries are deeply concerned that an unpopular Biden would cost them seats on election days. Their members in tough races are scared and several plan to run away from Biden. We saw former Senator Tom Harkin, who served with Biden in the Senate for 20 plus years, said in an email to supporters that the debate was, quote, a disaster from Biden that he cannot recover from. So you have senators who have been hyper involved in all of this for 20 plus years saying that this is a disastrous debate performance by Biden that he cannot recover from. And the White House is goal is to try to keep all of the elected leaders close to him, probably give them some handouts. And listen, I don't like these people I'm about to talk about. I really don't. I don't like AOC. I don't like Ilhan Omar. In fact, I'm diametrically opposed to pretty much everything about them. If I had to pick between Chuck Schumer and AOC, I'm picking Chuck Schumer every day. He's an establishment, whatever, Democrat, and he's very oddly progressive for his establishment beliefs, but I'd still pick him over AOC. With that being said, people like Hakeem Jeffries, people like Chuck Schumer, they're always going to stand by Biden's side because they're far more interested in Democratic unity and winning than they are with, helping the American people. It's just how losers like this operate. AOC claims to be something different. Ilhan Omar claims to be something different. Cori Bush, if she doesn't get whacked out of her seat, she claims to be something different. Okay, be different. Speak up. Here's your chance, right? Speak up about Biden's debate performance because clearly, as we can see, this is a disaster. You have people that have been with him for 20 plus years saying the debate was a disaster Biden cannot recover from. So there need to be people within the Democratic Party that are going to speak up against this, and we will really, really see whether the Biden administration has sway over its party based on how the people like AOC react to this. And I really do think a lot of it is on them. Like, they do need to be talking about this. So I think it's on them. I really think it's crazy that we're like calling on AOC to step it up and talk about this stuff, but at the same time, it's like she has a lot of sway with the base, and if you can change the minds of the base, maybe you can get out a different nominee. I sincerely doubt it, but I just am very interested to see how point 5 actually plays out. I think is the point I'm trying to make. Maybe the tiredness is getting to me, and I didn't quite finish that off the way I wanted to, but for sure, I think that it's going to be interesting to see how this strategy goes out, because I don't think they're going to have a problem with majority leader. I don't think they're going to have a problem with House Democratic leader Jeffries. I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's going to be the AOCs of the world and the Ilhan Omars that are going to be very different. All right, let's get to this. This next point reads, get the donor class to chill. That's quite a task you've got for yourself. Jeffrey Katzenberg and other top Biden backers are working the phones to reassure the deep pockets while the campaign and DNC keep turning out fundraising appeals and highlighting successes. What successes? Yikes on a bike. Like, what successes? Anyway, reads, some donors are blaming the staff, not the man on stage. Let's talk about this, okay? Some donors are blaming the staff, not the man on stage. That's because some donors know that the staff are running the show, not the man on stage, okay? Donors are upset about this because they know the reality of what they're paying for, right? They're paying for the staffers to take good care of Biden. They're paying probably for technology that would have put a little bug in Biden's ear so that he could have heard talking points during the debate against debate rules. They were paying for something like that, and that's not what they got, okay? It's not at all what they got. This goes on to say, John Morgan, a Florida personal attorney, personal injury log magnet, who's a top Democratic donor, tweeted Sunday that Biden's debate prep team is guilty of political malpractice. Quote, format was a disaster for him and a plus for Trump. He overpracticed and was drained. Which is so funny. Let me just, in case you guys weren't paying super close attention, which there's no reason why you had to pay super close attention to this, in the about week leading up to Biden's debate performance that we all saw, the Trump-Biden debate, he was flying back and forth between, I believe, it was either France or Ireland, one of the two. Him and Jill were flying back and forth for the G7 summit, wherever that was, and Hunter Biden's gun trial. So if he was exhausted, it was from his son being a now convicted felon. So, so that's an interesting point. Second, you have to remember that the Biden campaign did a lot of spin about how underprepared Biden was because he was dealing with everything going on with his son and the G7 summit and running the country. And the whole lead up to the debate was, by the way, Biden didn't prepare enough. Like, this is hard on Biden, coupled with a lot of planted stories saying Biden was feeling really good about his under preparation because he kind of knew he liked Jake Tapper. He liked everything that was going. And now that everything's done and, he didn't prepare enough clearly, or whatever he did prepare with, it doesn't matter. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Take aside the practicing, the over practicing, the under practicing, which is clearly true. It doesn't matter whether he over practice or under practice. He's just too old. Okay. It has nothing to do with whether the amount of practice that he did. I actually am very irritated by this idea or this tweet from this John Morgan person. I don't care if he was over practice. I don't care if he was under practice. Doesn't matter the amount of practice. He's old. I was thinking about this. Let me just go full screen and rant about this for a second. I was really thinking about this, about how Biden, let's say he's under practice. He didn't get enough practice that he needed, whatever, for whatever reason, whether it be because he was going to the G7 or whether it be because he was traveling for his son's, his gun trial. I know that there are some days where I go on, Newsmax. That is part of my job, is to go and appear on Newsmax. And I will not deny that there are some hits I prepare for, and there are some hits where I read the email about 2 minutes before and I'm like, oh, scrambling, and I get on TV. And some hits are slightly better than others, but in general, I've been doing this for 5 years. I'm a professional. I got it. And it's not to say that the standards of doing TV in my second bedroom studio are the same as doing a debate for 90 minutes. I understand that there's a difference. I've also been on, hour and a half long podcasts, same amount of time, in which I did no preparation. Okay. I just show up and I talk, and I'm going to go on the whatever podcast for like 4 hours and show up and talk and prepare a couple of points, but not prepare that much. Like, that is what we do. It is a professional thing. Joe Biden has been in politics since I think my parents were born. Okay. He has been in politics before the 3-point line even existed on a basketball court. And you're telling me that he struggles with debates? The man has been doing these things since the very first time he ever ran for political office. I don't care if you're overprepared. I don't care if you're underprepared. Bro, this is what you've been doing your whole life. There's a modicum of professionalism that comes with this, to the point where you shouldn't even need that much debate prep. You should know your shit and you should get out. Oh, sorry, Isabel, I shouldn't have sworn, but you know what I mean? You should know your stuff and you should get out there and you should kill it. If you have been doing this for that long, this should not be a difficult task for you. I'm mind blown that people think that this is some sort of difficult task, right? All right. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Oops, split. There we go. Let's move to this 7th point. It says, prove vitality. Let me grab a swig of water. Okay. It says, words cannot capture how elated top officials were that Biden was as vigorous as he was at a rally in North Carolina the day after the debate. And they're looking for as many opportunities as possible to show that he's still on his game and not too old for the gig. They know words are useless. They need vitality and action. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. He had his chance to prove it. He proved he couldn't. And, I also find it interesting that this isn't just like a one-off thing. The way that the prove vitality point that the Biden administration is allegedly trying to create, and part of it, it's 8-step plan. It's not working, because I think everybody had an idea that it was this bad. You and I knew it was this bad, but people on the left, they had an idea that it was this bad. But this was just one time that it was this bad. We have years worth of examples. In fact, there was a video going around, I believe it was about 100, or it was in 2020. So yeah. And there was 2 screens, and one of them was Biden talking in 2020, which y'all remember how bad we thought he sounded in 2020? And then you compare it with 2024. Ooh, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad how bad it's gotten. And the prove vitality in all of this, you're going to have to show me that he never messes up again. You're going to have to prove to me that he doesn't need to do his little shuffle to get around, okay? I'm not talking about one time he gets on stage and he's vivacious in North Carolina. Like, that's not going to do anything. What you really need is to show longevity, improving vitality. And a couple of little things are not going to fix that. And that honestly brings me to my final point, the final point that they have before I kind of get into my thesis after I downloaded all this information. Their final part of their strategy is ignore/engage the media, which is pretty much what they've been doing this entire administration. Says, on one hand, Biden allies want everyone to ignore the prominent columnists who loved Biden and are now calling for his resignation, right? Ignore the media. Again, this is the complex that is super important for you guys to understand. It's good background knowledge. I really hated my job in 2019, having to read all about these Democrats and every stupid thing they did. But now I'm really glad I did it because now I have this background knowledge. Joe Biden believes the media hates him, okay? He believes that the media is right wing and that they're out to get him. I know. I know you're laughing at home because me too. It's so stupid. But he really believes that, okay? So you got to put yourself in that framework, okay? So Biden and his allies, they want you to ignore the right-wing media who is not the right-wing media. They're left-wing media that said they love Biden, they love Biden, they love Biden. They've been kissing his butt for the last however many 60 years he's been in politics or something like that. But now they're very, very concerned with his debate performance. And now it's like, mainstream media is rigged. I'm like, oh my gosh, did Joe Biden get red pilled too? And then on the other hand, the campaign in the White House are deeply engaged with reporters writing about presidential fitness. They're trying to spin it, right? They're trying to spin as much as they can. The problem is you can't unsee what you saw, okay? And all of this, everything I just showed you, everything we just talked about, it really is my belief that regardless of whether Biden implements the eight plan step that I just laid out to you, that Axios laid out to us in their morning newsletter, my belief is that what happened on that stage was so bad, it was actually a red pill moment for Democrats. And by red pill moment, I don't mean people becoming conservative. I believe that this was a moment where Democrats woke up and realized the media is lying to you, the Biden administration is lying to you, the government is lying to you, okay? We all have these moments. We all have our red pill moments, okay? I think for a lot of us, maybe you were better than me. That's totally fine. Mine was in COVID, okay? Generally speaking, I was like, I liked the neocons. I was fine with the neocons. And I didn't really care. Even during the Trump administration, I thought, it's nice to have both. They represent both. They don't fight too much. And then COVID. And then COVID. Okay? That's when I woke up and realized that everybody's lying to me. Bureaucrats, the government, the Republicans that I may or may not have voted for, the Democrats that I may or may not have voted for. And sometimes you just feel bad that it takes people this long to come around. I really do feel like the Jewish American I don't even know. I wouldn't say lobby, but like Jewish Americans in general have really had a red pill moment where they realize, oh my gosh, these institutions are against us. There's a lot of anti-Semitism rampant in college campuses. And we actually have been funding college campuses. This is incredibly problematic for us, right? So I understand that this is, how do I put this? I'm sympathetic is what I should say. I'm sympathetic to the idea that it takes a long time to get red pilled. But I do believe that Joe Biden's debate performance is red pilling people. It's this moment where people are thinking, oh my gosh, everything the Republicans were saying about Joe Biden's terrible mental health, his terrible, or not mental health, his mental decline, his physical decline, it's not wrong. It wasn't a right-wing conspiracy theory. I just watched it play out with my own eyes. And I now have a mainstream media, or for a time, right after the debate performance, you had a mainstream media that would get up there and defend that performance and call it good. And like we said in that CBS YouGov poll that I pointed out, 72% of people think that he is not fit to run for office. So again, I think this performance was a red pill moment. And I don't just say, as you can read from the title, I did not just say Biden red pills Democrats. I said Biden red pills the legacy media. Okay? That is my take. That is my honest to God take, you guys. The media. It is so crazy how out of whack, how out of touch these idiots are, okay? And they are idiots, okay? Because they know, I think they know better. If not, they're just, again, they're idiots. The fact that I just read you for 30 minutes from Axios, and we had a couple of differing views on what, because they were giving their takes in there as well. We had a little bit of different views, but not really. But not really. It was so nice to read not just Axios, because again, like I said, I read these every morning. To read Axios, to read Politico, and to feel like, wow, they actually understand what's going on. Wow. They actually live in the same reality as us. Wow. It's undeniable that we are living in the same reality together. And I just kind of wish that the mainstream media would wake up and go, oh, this is what journalism is. We'd be doing so much better. People would be so much interested in us if we were criticizing what the administration in power was doing, or just criticizing both administrations. I think that is what's missing in journalism so much of the time. People just want to get fed like boring, lame stories. I'm like, oh no, tell me the fun things. Tell me the things like I don't want to hear. So anyway, with that being said, that is my whole belief that Biden red-pilled legacy media and Democrats. And while I don't know if you'll see it right away, I don't know if you're going to see this boom right off the bat. I do think that things like this take some time and they open people's eyes. There are people out there, they might not vote Democrat tomorrow or Republican tomorrow. Sorry. They're Democrats. They might not vote Republican tomorrow, but they might in the next election, because somebody else will come in and replace Biden, and their eyes have been opened now, and they might abstain. They might not vote for Trump, but they might find something like that palatable for the first time in a long, long time, because they've been red-pilled, right? So anyway, I want to continue on with this stream just a little bit longer. So if you guys have any questions or anything, I'm going to kind of read through some of the comments you guys have been putting in. But before I do that, I need to let you know that today's show is sponsored by Rough Greens. Traditional dog food, I don't know if you guys know this, it does not have the traditional very good nutrition that they claimed to have. It's dead dog food, and we're giving dead food to our doggies. I don't know if you guys have met him. I'm sure some of you have. My wonderful dog, Harper. He's a golden retriever. He's hard at work napping somewhere in the studio. But Harper is very grateful for patriotic and healthy dog foods like Rough Greens. So basically, you just add their products into your existing dog food, and it's full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all the good things to help your dog be the healthiest they can be. So you can get a free jumpstart trial over at roughgreens.com. That's rough, RUFF, greens.com, roughgreens.com, and get started there. All right, I'm going to read through your comments just before we head off. Let's see. Lots of people are saying they're excited for Isabel and Brock. We're so excited for them too. What else we have? Let's see. Oh, Alex said, have y'all seen what Harry Sisson has to say about all of this? That's right. Harry Sisson is a prominent Democrat contributor, or contributor is not a good word, influencer of sorts. He's an influencer that gets paid by the Democratic National Committee, or money funneled through the DNC ends up in Harry Sisson's pocket. And yeah, if you guys have not already seen his videos on this, I don't have any queued up or pulled up, but those are worth watch. If you go and type in Harry Sisson, they're so funny. And there are already people debating him online, pushing back on him, because he was just, I don't even know. I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but he was just doing Biden's bidding. That's what I'll say. He was kissing Sleepy Joe's booty. That's what I'll say. Okay. And yeah, I just think that that's interesting. What else we have? Amy said Joe is going to pass away from an aneurysm from all the stress and greed. Ooh, potentially. Anything else we got? People are saying they're confused seeing me on Isabel's stream. Yep. Well, I guess I'm going to end the stream there and say this. I know it's confusing to see me on Isabel's stream, but it's going to be a really fun week. Okay. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're obviously off for the 4th of July and the 5th of July because we're just enjoying our long weekends. And then I'll be back all week next week as well, taking over the stream for Isabel, and Isabel will be back on the 15th. If you are interested in watching more of what I have to offer, please feel free to just Google my name, Chrissy Clark, underreported stories, or feel free to find me at underreportedstories.substack.com. There you'll get my videos, links to the audio episodes every single day in your inbox. And yeah, I'm super excited to keep getting to know you guys, keep hanging out. And with that being said, I will see y'all back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern for the rest of the week. See you guys then.